Any of you guys ever remember going to school with that person who was always angry for no reason? And when he told you the reason that he was upset, you realized how ignorant it was? You just wanted to tell him, bro, calm down. Imagine that person with Bakugo's powers. Just a friendly reminder from your boy Animated Heroes, don't forget to check out my boys at Sculptimo Toys for the best figures, best prices, and fastest shipping if you guys haven't already. Let's get into it. What the heck is up, you guys? Animated Heroes here, back with another action figure review for you. And as you can see today, we're going to be taking a look at the Figma 443 My Hero Academia, long awaited character that we should have had at least 2 years ago, Bakugo Katsuki. And man, I gotta say, through the packaging, this figure looks sick. I'm very stoked for this. I have been for a while, and I really hope it's everything that I want this figure to be. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and take a look at that sexy packaging, and then we'll dive right into the figure. Now, I have the box pretty close up in the frame, but I will say that it definitely looks a bit on the smaller side. And of course, we'll find that out in just a sec. But as you can see, we got the window packaging with Bakugo inside. Figma number 443, My Hero Academia, right there at the bottom. We got an image of him with his angry look and his explosions on the top. Same thing on the bottom. On the side, we just got a neutral face of him standing still, getting ready to battle. And then, of course, on the side, we got another pose of him right here, looking like he's ready to fight. And then on the back, we've got all the poses we can get the figure into, some of the accessories. We see a picture of him and Deku, and of course all the stuff at the bottom that doesn't matter. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and put this box to the side real quick so I can show you a size comparison of how big it is compared to the others. So just in case you didn't believe me, here's a size comparison between his packaging and the packaging that initially came with Deku. As you can see, it looks like Good Smile decided they want to try to help us save some room on our shelves for good reasoning. I do appreciate that. Now, straight out of the packaging, I do have to say that this is Bakugo in all of his glory, and I do highly appreciate Figma for that. I've been wanting this figure for a long time, and in terms of paint, sculpt, and detail, I'm already satisfied. Now, there is one thing that I am worried about, and it's the fact that it really does seem like they're sticking to the Season 1 looks. And if you guys are a true fan of this, then you already know with the current season, the art style is highly, highly upgraded. And if you don't believe me, go take a look at an episode from Season 1 and then compare that to the recent season. There is a very big change in terms of how the characters look. And this just captures Bakugo out of Season 1. Like, it's very difficult for me to explain, but like I said, if you go watch one of the episodes from each season, you'll see exactly what I mean. Now, I do want all of these characters in their updated costumes, and the fact that they're sticking to Season 1 kind of worries me. Bakugo hasn't made that much of a change, but if they do Todoroki in his Season 1 costume, please guys, Figma, don't do that. I don't want to see that. Now, this Bakugo, as I said, I can live with. It will work for me. You can see he's got the grenades on his arms, the grenades on his side. The pants look really nice. The boots, the sculpt on them really, really looks nice. That's what I like the most. As far as the head goes, we got the extra spiky hair. We've got his angry looking face here. Well, actually, he's smiling, but he's angry at the same time. Bakugo's always angry. But I will say these things right here, these little spikes on his hair, this is like, it feels like very fragile plastic. Do not stand this guy on your top shelf because I feel like this will just break. These actually feel a lot more durable than these, and that says a lot. But in terms of how it looks, they knocked it out the park. I'm very satisfied with it, and I think that it's actually going to be a great figure. There is a little bit to talk about, and of course I will get into that. But let's start off by going ahead and putting him back so we can see how tall he stands. Now, as far as height goes, to the top of his head, Bakugo stands right at about 5.5 inches. So I think he's definitely going to fit in well with Deku and some of the other figures that I'm going to show him next to. He's right at that 6-inch scale, but of course he's only 15 years old, so this definitely makes sense for him. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that articulation. In terms of articulation, there's definitely a lot to talk about. As you guys can see, Bakugo does not look up at all. Honestly, I wish they would have just sculpted the hair down to the back of his neck. Therefore, it could hide some of that gapping since you can't get him to look up. He does look down, and as you can see, you can move his head around. You just don't get any looking up at all, so that doesn't help with his flying poses. As far as his shoulder goes, this is what kind of bothers me a bit. As you guys can see, there's that gap in there. And with my figures, I'm always tempted to like shift this up so that I can hide that gap when I'm posing them. That does not work here. If you try that, it is going to split that shoulder. And I just hit my camera, sorry. But it is going to split that joint on the shoulder. And that is going to cause major problems. You don't want that. As far as his arm going up and out, you get about that much, which I think is good enough. As far as his elbow bend, and actually you don't. This comes off when you try that. So let's try that one more time. I'm keeping all this on camera so you guys will see it. But yeah, it goes out about that much actually. And then as far as his elbow bend, it comes in right at 90 degrees. I think that's very effective. That'll work for me. Now with the gauntlets, you're not going to get much movement out of his hands at all, but I guess that would be expected. But you can turn it. Now, one other thing I want to say is this comes off very, very easily. And I know that I just pulled it off just to show you guys, but it's been bugging me this whole time. And I really wish that like they would have made some form of him where you can pull these off and just attach regular arms for when he's not using his gauntlets. Because, I mean, they do a lot of PX figures, so I feel like it's a missed opportunity. But, oh well. As far as his diaphragm joint, he does not lean back at all. You're not going to get any kind of leaning back. So not only can he not look up, he can't lean back. So flight poses for him really aren't going to work. He does lean forward though. As you guys can see, the diaphragm joint does work very well leaning forward at whatever angle. He does have a waist swivel so you can turn him back and forth. His foot kicks out about that much, which is good enough for me. His foot kicks back about that much, which is also good enough for me. He can do the splits very, very well, so that's cool. He does have a built-in thigh swivel. He does have really, really great knee engineering. Now, it looks a little ugly, but, I mean, it is very effective, so I'm fine with that. He does have a swivel right here, as you guys can see, so that's definitely going to help you pose him a little bit better, especially with the way these boots are designed. His foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Very, very well. You do get some swivel, but of course you have to play with this joint a bit. And he does have a toe hinge that doesn't go as far as I'd expect it to, but it is there. So in terms of articulation, he's lacking in a few areas, but he does exceptionally well in a few others. Now, as far as accessories go, this is where the figure is very lackluster for me. He comes with a pair of fist hands, as you guys can see, that are already on him. And as far as his neutral expression, it's just the one that you see now with the smirk on his face. It looks fine, but it definitely looks a little bland. Now, as far as his hands go, he comes with a pair of open stylus palm hands, which I'm very glad that they included these. The sculpt on the hands are very nice as well. He comes with a pair of gripping hands, but since you can't really slip anything through the fingers, there's not very much he can hold, and he doesn't come with any accessories that he can hold either. And he also comes with a pair of hands for his explosions, which I'll show off in just a sec. Here are both of the explosions, and to show how he holds them, there is a hole in the bottom of them, as you guys can see, and they just peg right into his palm. And I don't think this one goes on this hand. I'll try the other one. Let's see here. It's going to be a pain to do on camera. There we go. And yeah, as you guys can see, the explosions just plug right into his hand and they're not going to go anywhere. And then lastly, he comes with a yelling expression. And this one just goes to show me once again that they're sticking with the season 1 look, which was when Bakugo was extremely angry. I mean, he's always angry, but absolutely angry for no reason. But as you guys can see, he's got the veins in his eyes, and I don't even think he's done that since season 1. But It definitely feels like they took the lazy route. They're normally known for at least 3 faces, and the last time I remember only getting 2 from them is the Figma Saitama, which was where they took the lazy road out. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't include more faces. Now, in case you don't know, or maybe you've just forgotten, take a look at all the expressions that this guy is known for making throughout the entirety of the series. It seems to me like Good Smile just missed out on a great opportunity to completely upsell this figure with more accessories. Now, for some size comparisons, here he is standing next to all the figures that actually matter. On the left, we've got the Figma Deku, which released forever ago. We have the McFarlane Toys My Hero Academia All Might. And of course, we have the McFarlane Toys Shigaraki. And as you can see, he does seem to fit in scale with all of them somewhat nicely. I just think that Shigaraki's a bit too tall. But other than that, I do think that these guys will all pose very well together. Next up, to compare to some other lines, here he is standing next to the Mafex or Metacom Toys Classic Outfit Deadpool, and of course the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Velocity Suit Spider-Man. Lastly, here he is standing next to 2 figures I have been enjoying quite a bit lately, the McFarlane Toys Animated Series Superman and the McFarlane Toys Animated Series Batman. And as you can see, they both tower over him. Now, this is a figure that I am very on the fence about. I almost don't know how to feel about it. And it's crazy to say that because this is a figure that I have been awaiting for quite some time now. And I'm not going to say that it disappoints me, but it definitely doesn't excite me as much as I was hoping that it would, having it in hand. Maybe my expectations were way too high. Maybe it was just I was overhyped because they were continuing the line of an anime that I absolutely love so much. There's a lot of variables that could play into why I probably had higher expectations for this figure, or maybe just why I was so much more hyped for it and was somewhat let down. I do think it lacks in terms of accessories. The articulation I can somewhat get around. I don't know, honestly. Maybe it's because I actually like the Nendoroid better than I like this figure. And not to bash the figure, because I absolutely really love Nendoroids. If you check out my photos on my Animated Heroes page, you'll know. This figure definitely could have used more expressions. Bakugo is too expressive of a character to only have 2 faces. That is my biggest issue with this figure. Everything else I can look around. It's just a very figure for me. Not one of my favorites, but I don't dislike it. And I feel like any of you guys that are fans of My Hero Academia, you will like the figure. And if you have Deku and you've been waiting on them to continue this line, you gotta support it. I'm gonna get Ochiko. I'm damn sure gonna get Todoroki because he's my favorite character, even if they make him in the costume that I hope they don't. I'm gonna get Suyu. Anyone that they make, I'm going to pick up. And so, all that to say this. I believe this figure runs at about 50, 60 bucks. Get him for that price. Hopefully he doesn't skyrocket like Deku did, because this is a figure I just would not pay that price for. Personally, if you like Bakugo by any means, pick him up. You will enjoy the figure. But for me, it's a meh. And I'm not even going to rate it because I don't want to feel like I'm underselling this figure, because it's a good figure. And I feel like I'm kind of contradicting myself, so I'll leave it at this. If you like My Hero Academia, go get this figure. If you want to complete the line, obviously, go get this figure. That being said, this is my review, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon so that you guys can see every time I upload a new video. And follow me on everything you see listed in the description for more content. As always, Animated Heroes out.